Hello, everyone. Welcome to Back Me channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Hospital in general. After losing her mother, Carly becomes Sonny's only priority. Will the wedding be put on hold? General Hospital information. Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, struggled to maintain composure. She talked about everything she had lost over the last 5 years as she sat across from Sam McCall, Kelly Monaco, at her kitchen table and stared at him. First, Sonny Corinthos. Maurice Bernard, her husband, passed away. She later miscarried and divorced Jason Morgan, Steve Burton. Then, when Sonny returned from Nixon Falls alive and in love with Nina Reeves, Cynthia Wattrose, she lost her first husband once more, but in a very different way. She later lost her ownership stake in the Metro Court Hotel. Drew Cain, who will serve a 3-year prison sentence for a crime she committed, was most recently lost to her. She now faces a $5 million loss. The last thing Barbara Jane Spencer, Jacqueline Zeman, anticipates is losing her mother as well. Everyone's lives will be turned upside down by this, and Nina might wonder what happened to her fiancé if he starts spending most of his time with his mourning ex-wife. Spoilers for General Hospital. Jacqueline Zeman continues to live on. Jacqueline Zeman tragically passed away recently following a brief fight with cancer. She will depart from us on May 9, 2023, having contributed more than 45 years as a cast member to Port Charles and the GH culture. While many people have paid the actress respect online, we know the most heartbreaking scenes will come as the ensemble uses their collective acting talent to send Jacqueline farewell. GH spoilers. GH says goodbye to Bobby Spencer. In the coming weeks, it makes sense that GH will be recording sequences to properly say goodbye to Bobby Spencer, much as they did for Epiphany Johnson, Sonia Eddy. Although the manner in which Bobby will leave the program has not been confirmed, it stands to reason that Zeman's persona will likewise leave the show forever. Carly will experience this as a serious tragedy because Drew is gone at Pentonville and unable to console her. Introducing Sonny Corinthos. Hospital in general. Carly Spencer is supported by Sonny Corinthos. Sonny will intervene to fill the position of the man in Carly's life when she needs him, just like he always does. Since when is Carly not in need? Let's be honest. Nina will become frustrated since she doesn't like having her fiancé share a relationship with his ex-wife. Will Bobby's passing provide the groundwork for a new, tighter relationship between Carly and Sonny? In a pretty heartbreaking way, seeing their family come together was undoubtedly Bobby's last wish. Returning to General Hospital. Jax to save Carly Corinthos. Report on General Hospital spoilers. The situation for Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, is dire. She is facing a $5 million fine from the SEC and is unsure of how to pay her federal obligation. But if she doesn't, Cameron Matheson's character Drew Cain and her will both be going to prison. She can't let that take place. After all, his entire purpose in being there is to replace her. What use would it be for her to receive a sentence after he accepted responsibility for her? But Carly doesn't want Drew to help her pay this debt off, and she doesn't have many other secure resources to turn to without jeopardizing her long-term retirement plans. But she might have someone in her back pocket, a person we haven't heard from in a while, who could put an end to this whole thing. Is Ingo Rademacher's Jasper Jax returning to his house? Hospital in general. Please. No Corinthos charity. Panic overcame Carly as soon as she learned the size of the debt she owed to the government. Jocelyn Joss Jax noticed the look of utter horror on her face. Michael Corinthos and Sonny Corinthos immediately entered the head, but Diane Miller dispelled any thoughts of relying on them for assistance. Given that the Justice Department is obviously seeking for methods to link Carly to Sonny and his unlawful business, allowing them to save her would be too hazardous. Jax may be able to save Carly Spencer's sinking ship to her trust fund, but she refused. She isn't going to take such a huge sum of money from her child, who hasn't even figured out how to generate money for herself. Carly won't take money that Jax has left to Joss, but it doesn't mean she won't receive money directly from Jax in the future. Tell us if it's true and Jax really is returning to Port Chuck. There may be plans for a new version of General Hospital. The plot is now well known to everyone. Ingo Rademacher was fired from the soap during the COVID-19 pandemic after ABC Disney rejected his request for a religious exemption to the vaccination requirement. Ingo filed a lawsuit alleging discrimination, but since the case was unsuccessful, we'll never really know if that claim was accurate or not. But given that viewers now anticipate that Ingo won't return to GH, it's anyone's guess who will portray Jax. Is a recast on the horizon? If so, what do you think about having someone else take on the role that Ingo established and molded over the years? Fans of General Hospital are shouting "Enough is enough" in response to Carly's most recent action. We'll just say one thing about Carly from General Hospital. Very few viewers are objective when it comes to her. Most people categorize her as a character they love to hate. But they actually fall pretty clearly into one of two camps. But this week, as Sonny's ex watched Drew be taken to jail for a crime she won't admit to committing, several of the soap opera's viewers burned torches and raised pitchforks in protest. Fair enough, but this response has been developing for months or perhaps years. After all, Carly's full and absolute reluctance to accept responsibility for her own acts is one of her defining characteristics. In reality, it's this quality that makes some people loyal and others hateful. Carly's fans would blame the nuns for being there if she ran over a group of them, said the author. Do whatever is necessary to spare Carly from having to take responsibility for her actions. What led to the most recent CISD round? Recently, Carly said, "Drew and I are in this position purely out of spite," in a conversation with Sam, after discovering she had completely disregarded Michael and Drew's advice, which is classic me, she confessed. Many people on the internet instantly pointed out that no amount of retaliation would have gotten Carly and Drew in trouble if she hadn't breached the law. According to a tweet, Carly should have gone to jail because she broke the law. But the person that told her not to do it is the one doing time. It's also crucial to note that Carly, as well as actress Laura Wright, has a sizable fan base, many of whom voice their opinions whenever the rivalry between Sonny's ladies is involved. Because of this, a recent exchange offered fans of Carly/Sonny optimism that a reunion might be forthcoming. Diane Shaw questioned on Twitter, when Carly said she's going to get back all she's lost, does that indicate she's going to battle for Sonny? But does that imply that the character should be given free rein to run roughshod over everyone in their path and commit serious offenses at will? Or perhaps it's time for General Hospital to level the playing field a little by letting Carly own her transgressions and perhaps, God forbid, endure the repercussions. Sam McCall from GH is also inebriated. The Carly problem at the Carly Kool-Aid General Hospital has been discussed on this page several times before. The premise that Carly is the show's heroine, who can essentially do no wrong and will always be forgiven, rather than Carly in and of herself, is the main source of contention. Sam McCall had her chance to elevate Carly unfairly this week. McCall, Sam Carly and I shouldn't be friends. Carly, Laura Wright, is the manipulative vixen and bad girl with shades of gray. It is who she was in the beginning and who she is today. She still has the same fundamental character. The only thing that has altered is some of the maturity that comes with age and becoming a parent. She always has a plan or two cooking, and only a few weeks ago, she and Drew were plotting to blackmail Tracy, Jane Elliott, in an attempt to escape their insider trading problem. In order for Nina to remain unaware that she had a living daughter, she schemed even further last year when she paid a woman to lie in front of Drew, informing him that Willow's biological parents were deceased, in order to prevent Nina from finding out that she paused at the top of the cliff before trying to save Nell, who ultimately fell to her purported death. Carly hid the truth about plotting to keep Jason and Sam apart and hardly allowed Sam into Jason's life. Sam was never anything but competition to Carly, and Sam didn't care much for Carly either. She was aware that Jason always ended up choosing Carly and her issues, which is precisely what caused their last breakup. Sam was actually not at all surprised when she found out that Jason and Carly were getting married. Even though Jason was her end goal in her dreams, she probably always knew that was going to happen. Because of this, Sam reacted appropriately when she discovered that Drew, the father of her daughter Scout and Jason's brother, was likewise picking Carly over the other candidates. She was furious. How could he prioritize Carly's needs and those of her young daughter over those of their child? Drew was prepared to go to jail to save Carly from a disaster she created on her own, even though he had already missed so much of Scout's life. We encouraged Sam as she berated Drew. Unfortunately, if anyone is permitted to be upset at Carly, it almost always lasts for a full heated minute. Longtime adversaries of Carly shouldn't be her friends. We're not sure why Carly's quick friendships on GH are becoming so popular. They now regard her as the queen bee who can never make a mistake, or at least one who should be forgiven for every mistake because of all the bridges the character has destroyed over the years. In the case of Elizabeth, Carly was even commended for making a mistake. Carly, who is completely incapable of keeping her nose out of anyone's affairs, took a picture of Elizabeth's parents when Liz intended to burn it. Liz informed her she had no right to do that, but thanked her nonetheless, since she would have regretted tossing the photo into the fire after she gave it back to her a few months later and explained why she had taken it. However, because to Carly's fixation on Jason, Liz was once just as much of a Carly enemy as Sam was. Epiphany Johnson, Sonia Eddy, who Carly never befriended, put up with her for Sonny's benefit. That's why it was startling when she spoke eulogistically at Epiphany's burial, as if the two had once been close friends. Sam McCall ought to be shot. We were eager for someone to call Carly out on lying about Willow's parentage after seeing Willow, Michael, and Drew forgive her. Sam seemed like the ideal candidate to do so. Because of her own selfish, get-rich-quick ploy, Carly was removing the father from her child, and she was upset about it. We expected Carly to be checked for dirt when Sam showed up in her kitchen on the day Drew was supposed to go to jail, but the exact reverse happened. Sam did just that, just like other ex-enemies who now have no choice but to sing Carly's praises. Yes, Scout needed her father, she reminded Carly, but Donna also needed her mother, and that was equally crucial. In reality, Sam was now pleased with Drew for taking responsibility for Carly and ensuring that she would still be with her family. Carly merely committed her crime, after all, to raise Aurora's profile. She didn't want to make any money. All she wanted to do was support Michael and Drew's enterprise. This implies that Sam is now believing the lies. Carly has even explained to herself why she purchased Aurora stock in light of the anticipated merger. We all witnessed Carly sitting in the Metro Court Gardens chatting with Bobby, Jacqueline Zeman, and Jocelyn, Eden McCoy, about the trip they were planning because she was about to become extremely wealthy thanks to an investment. We are aware that Carly purchased the stock out of avarice, but it appears that G8 will only need to remind us of certain events in order for us to forget what we actually witnessed. Watching Sam tear at Carly for never accepting accountability for her own mistakes and bringing up their long-standing hostility would have been incredibly enjoyable. But alas, all we received was Carly adoration showered upon us as usual since, for some strange reason, GH's current writing staff appears to genuinely believe Carly is Port Charles's most adored heroine. It's people like us who have been watching for a while who can remind them that she most definitely isn't.